Hi everyone, my name is Karen Ellis and I'm thrilled to bring you how to work with resin and the Spellbinders Media Mixage Bezels. And this is a video that I'm doing to go along with the article that I wrote for the Canadian Scrapbooker Magazine that is currently in the summer issue 2013. So I used some of the Spellbinders materials for that article. I created a card, a canvas, and a pendant. And in that I mentioned that I would show you how I mix the resin. So this is the video that goes along with that. So I am going to be using one of the hearts. And now these hearts, I used the small and the medium-sized heart in the article for the canvas. I embedded that into a canvas. So I did have the large heart left over, and I thought that would make a really fun pendant that I could wear in and around the studio in the summertime. So I'm pretty excited about this. So I decided I would show you how to do it, and here we go. I did take some of my artwork. You can see I do have some monoprinting that I had done and I stamped on, and I did stamp a flower. Here it is here, and it's already cut out because what I did is I took the Spellbinders Media Mixage die that corresponds with the size of the bezel that I have here, and I just ran it through my die cutting machine. And once I did that, I ran it through my Xyron so that it would become a sticker, like it's all sticky under here now, and it's ready to put in my bezel. So that is what I've done. You can see I did take a monoprint and stamped on it, and you can see I do have a butterfly in the foreground. And if you are Canadian Scrapbooker Magazine lovers, then you might recognize that particular stamp as the One Stamp 5 Stampers set that was in the spring issue 2013. Here it is here. They are from Spellbinders, and I just love them. I've been using these butterflies in so many things, so I figured why not this one too, because it's so pretty. And the turquoise that's around it in the three-dimensional paint, that is from Pearl Pen from Viva. And because I love how the Pearl Pen looks underneath resin, so I decided I'd decorate my butterfly with that. So without any further ado, let's put this in the bezel, because once it's cut with the die, it's made to fit perfectly into the bezel. So let's do that. So here we are. My sticker maker paper fits perfectly in the bottom of the bezel. Wonderful. Now, I am going to say one more thing about the Xyron. The reason I use that is because it creates a sticky across the entire surface of the paper that I'm putting in the bezel. And because of that, it seals it firmly, and there's no air underneath there. When you are working with resin, it is the air that's trapped in all of your layers that seeps up, that creates bubbles in your finished product if you don't catch it. So to avoid as many bubbles as I can, I love using that Xyron sticker maker so that it will lay flat on there, and it doesn't react to the resin, which is fantastic. So I'm all set to go. I can choose my resin now. There are different options out there. You certainly don't have to use any one particular brand of resin. It's whatever you can get a hold of, but please read the instructions very carefully because each one is just a little bit different. The ones that I typically use, I love Envirotex Light. Here it is here. This was meant to do countertops and bark counters and stools and furniture, but it works beautifully as a glazing medium and for jewelry. I do like that. But specifically for jewelry, Envirotex has also come out with their resin jewelry resin, which doesn't create as many bubbles, so it's a little bit more friendly to use for jewelers, and I really like this product as well. Another resin you may see is the ice resin, and here it is here in a depression tube, which has got it equally measured out for you, which could be easier for a lot of you out there. Either way, it's still a two-part epoxy, much like the Envirotex Light. It's out there, it's easy to use, it'll work well. Again, just read the instructions before you use it. The other thing you need to do is prepare. Resin, the epoxies, they are not safe for you to handle. So you need to protect your hands. Ta-da! I have some gloves on. These are going to, and in this case, I usually say do as I say, not as I do, but I am doing it too. That tells you just right there how important it is. Okay, so please protect your hands when you're using any resin product. You don't want to keep your resin products after using them. You don't want to switch between things. So you have to throw them out as you go. So I've just gone to my local surplus store. Here in Kitchener-Waterloo, Ontario, we have what's called the KW Surplus. You must have something like this in and around your area. But regardless, you're just looking for throwaway cups, okay? These ones are measuring cups, which come in real handy. You can kind of see how it's got the measurements there on the side for doing the two-part epoxies, because you're going to be using equal parts hardener and resin. So I have 2 cups here that I'm going to use, because I am going to be using the Envirotex Light resins today because I had this open. And you'll see here it is resin and hardener. There we go. So we're just going to do equal parts. So I am going to put this in here. And I know it's going to be hard to see because of the angle of the camera, but I'm going to do a fluid ounce. And I'm pouring slowly because I don't want any bubbles later. Okay, that's good. That's a fluid ounce. I'm making extra. Anybody remember why? Did you read the article? I always make a little extra. And here's another fluid ounce. This time of the resin. Again, I'm pouring slowly. You have to make sure it's equal parts, because if you don't do it equally, the resin won't set properly. So please make double sure. And I have that perfectly even. Yay! Okay, so now I'm going to mix. I am going to mix with the throwaway chopstick, because that's what I like. You can use a popsicle stick as well. Wood is a great tool to use for that. And just kind of pour slowly the 2 parts together. I'm making lots. Yay! There we go, and I'm just kind of using the stick to guide that resin into the hardener. There we go. And remember, we want equal parts, so you got to get it all out there. There we are. And then once I've got it in, I am going to stir it. There we go. Just kind of folding it over. Oh, I've got oodles. I can do a couple of bezels. Yay! So I'm just kind of stirring. I'm just kind of folding it over each other, because I don't want to whip it, because I don't want to create very many bubbles, but it needs to be thoroughly mixed. There we go. Got a couple bubbles going in there, but that's okay. We can get those out. So I'm going to mix this for a couple of minutes, just folding it over on top of each other, mixing it thoroughly, and then I'm going to let it sit for just a couple minutes as well, just to let any bubbles kind of rise to the top, and we'll take care of that then. So I'll continue on with this and be right back. Okay, so it's all ready to go, and you can see here how I've got a couple bubbles in it, but that's okay, we'll get them out. What I'm going to do at this point is simply pour, and I'm going to pour slowly. Again, I want to avoid any bubbles if I can. And I'm going to pour from the center of the bezel. And you just keep pouring it, and it fills, and it's going to dome. And anywhere you see anything three-dimensional in there, it's going to magnify it. Everything's magnified. It looks so pretty. The Viva Pearl Pen is popping out. The words and the stamp, it's just popping out. I'm just going to kind of go over here now to the side and get this corner. You can put little gems in here. This is a very simple pour to show you, but you can fill it in lots of different ways. So I'm just doing it, and I'm going to continue pouring until it's just a little bit domed, but not so much that it's going to over pour. There we are. Could probably do a little bit more, but that's as simple as that. And as you let that sit, you will see that there will be some bubbles that start coming up to the top. And what we do is I take a lighter. Barbecue lighters work really well for this as well, because you don't want to get your hands too far in here, but I just happen to have one of these around because these are somewhat easy to find at your convenience store. So you just kind of, I'll take my gloves off at this point though. I don't want to light that on fire. And you're just going to wave the heat of that lighter over top where the bubbles are, and they will pop for you automatically. You will see them pop in the resin. And I know it's very difficult to see that in the video, but that's what's happening. Trust me on that. Little pop, 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 pop. It's kind of fun. It's like popping a zit. I keep going back to it. And then so once that's done and once it's settled and you've got all those popped, let it sit and cure overnight, at least 24 hours, and you'll be good to go. I'm going to continue doming this, but if you have any questions, feel free to email me. You should also go to the resin blog. My friend Carmi Simicata does a fantastic blog for Envirotex Light, and does all kinds of bezels and jewelry projects using this medium. And it's resin blog, resin. Oh, I will put that up on the screen. You'll see it right now. There it is. So I hope you go and see her as well, and enjoy the Canadian Scrapbooker Magazine. Thank you so much for joining me for this video today. Can't wait to put this on a necklace so that I can wear it around the studio this summer. Bye, everybody. Thanks so much for joining me, and have fun playing with resin. Bye now.